the one that boggles everyone's minds. The mystery of the pyramids. The mystery of the pyramids. I think it's important that if we want to regulate these feeds so that they don't keep shutting us down. That's what we got to do. We gotta fight the moles. We gotta cut these damn agents' heads off, man. That's what we about. So with that being said, may the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. Do I. Peace. I should. I mean, those of you who have been following, you already know what's going on and what's happened. But today we're going to get into something that is one of the first, I should say, confirmations that I had.
You and me, the one creator, alpha, beta, initiator, world debater, inspirator, motivator, master gamer, animal trainer, crocs and gators, international traders, pirates and raiders, haters and fakers, killers and rapers, human enslavers, trafficking saviors. Don't believe me, do your research. 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 Do your research, do your research. Don't believe me, don't believe me, don't believe me. Do your research. Don't believe me, do your research. Don't believe me, do your research. Off the boat without faith, the hope been turned around. Upside down, back on the boat. Sold is dope, up down the river. Flood the Nile, the Mississippi is burning now. RBG, we Afro-Rican, Costa Rican, Puerto Rican, KMT, we Armorican, TIA, we G.O.D, Elohim, Prime Supreme, Thug Immortals, Moorish Dreams, manifest our destiny.
Of how great our African ancestors were. It's the one that boggles everyone's minds. The mystery of the pyramids. The mystery of the pyramids. I think it's important that if we want to deal with Kemet, if we would have to know the secrets of Kemet, right? We would have to know the things that are mysteries of the mind to the layperson, right? And one of them would be how the pyramids got there. So we're going to get into that a little bit. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Share to your Facebook feeds, family, friends, go on and so forth. This is a powerful lesson. I'm going to go ahead and put this on Facebook now because I think this is one of the single most important lessons that everybody should know. It's the truth about the pyramids. Okay, so to lay the groundwork, laying the groundwork of Kemet. Let's get the setting first. Anytime you tell a story, you got to have the setting right. When we're dealing with Kemet, we're dealing with early pre-dynastic Kemet, right? Early pre-dynastic Kemet. It was a different climate during this time. Yeah, it still had some desert land, but it also had some, it was really fertile land. In fact, the word Kemet means, it almost refers to the soil at times. People have referred to the black soil as well as the black people, right? They call it the black land, right? The word Kemet actually means black people, but they also referred to the soil because the soil was black. It was really good, fertile soil for planting. When it flooded, the flood would really edify the soil and the minerals. It was just very, very rich. And then there were times when it was famine, where it would get dusty and it would be, not suitable, and you would have to, that's when you have people migrating in and out and doing what they had to do. This is well before they built the canal that separates it from the Middle East and things of that nature, right? So when we're dealing with the pyramids and how they were created, I mean, it's a wonder. When we look at them, we gaze upon them and we say, wow, how are these primitive people able to put together such a marvelous structure? Out of the 7 wonders of the world, this is one of the only few that's actually standing, that we can actually see. How is this actually put together? They say when you look at the stones of the pyramid, they were put together so finely that you can't even put a slice of paper between each individual stone. You couldn't even fit a credit card between each one of the stones. That's how beautifully carved these stones were. According to European history and the way that they laid down for you guys, the people in Kemet were chiseling out these stones, and they did it for 20 years to do it. And they can't figure out how they did it. They can't figure out how they did it, right? They like to, well, we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's get into how they created the stones. Let's get into how they created the stones. These stones that you're looking at here, they want to tell you that they took these big, huge stones and they dragged them from different continents without the use of a wheel. The wheel wasn't even created yet. But they want to tell you that they dragged these stones from a whole other country to come to Kemet and place them in where they are today, right? That's what they tell you, right? Well, I'm here to tell you today that that's not how it happened. I'm here to tell you today that that's not how it happened. These stones that you see in Kemet were created in Kemet. They were created right on the spot there. You say, well, what do you mean they created the stone? You know, what, they had black magic? Uh-oh. They had black magic? If we're talking about the creation of stone, we have to deal with this brother right here. My man, Imhotep. Imhotep. One of the wisest architects, one of the wisest builders, scientists, vizier to the throne of Djoser. He was that guy. He was that guy. He was that guy that's responsible for the stones that you see on the pyramids. So if we're going to talk about how these stones were created, we got to get down to the science of the matter. And the science of the matter, we're talking about something that's called geopolymer. Geopolymer. It's a term that you haven't heard before in reference to Kemet because they always give you the term limestone. Limestone. Right? They say they dragged these huge blocks of limestone and granite and they piled them up together. You know, and they were in, you know, really hot, extreme conditions, you know, and they were putting these stones together. But I'm here to introduce you to geopolymer. What is geopolymer? There's often a confusion between the meanings of the terms geopolymer cement and geopolymer concrete. A cement is a binder, whereas concrete is the composite material resulting from the mixing and hardening of cement with water or alkaline solution in the case of geopolymer cement and stone aggregates. A couple words in there. We got a lot of words in there. We got to break this down. Geopolymer cement versus geopolymer concrete. Geopolymer cement, let's talk about concrete first. Geopolymer concrete is what you see right now with the stones. This is geopolymer concrete. As a matter of fact, all the pyramids around the world were made of geopolymer concrete. There's a difference between geopolymer concrete and geopolymer cement. Geopolymer cement is when it's still in its liquid form. Cement is when it's in its liquid form. These stones that you see were not chiseled out. You know, as these silly ass Europeans came in trying to do and mimic. When they came, they tried to chisel it while it was still hard. Idiots. It was molded. It was molded while it was still in its liquid form. That's why you see it so clean. That's why you see how some of them even have rounded edges when you go to some pyramids in the Chichen Itza in Mexico and things of that nature. Those were African people. They knew the formula. It was a scientific formula for creating stone that Imhotep invented. Oh yes, he put that together. So let's go back to the definition of geopolymer. Geopolymer. It says here, let me find an even better one. I think I got a better one than that. Yeah. There's often confusion between the meanings of the terms geopolymer, cement, geopolymer, concrete. A cement is a binder. A cement is a binder, whereas concrete is the composite material resulting from the mixing and hardening of cement with water or the alkaline solution. So the geopolymer is a binder, right? And what do you use to bind things together? You use what's called an aggregate, as it says. An aggregate. Okay? See here at the bottom? Okay? Or alkaline solution in the case of geopolymer cement, and stone aggregates. What is a stone aggregate? A stone aggregate could be any stone. It could be granite. It could be limestone. It could be sand. It could be gravel. It could be volcanic ash. Any stone that is grounded up. Any stone that is grounded up is an aggregate. Aggregate is a type of material used in construction, including sand, gravel, crushed stones, etc. Do you understand? So before they tell you that they had our people running around carrying these big stones on their back, and they had superhuman strengths, right? Or it was giants that put them together. It was the giants. They do anything to take something away from African people. Anything to tell you that they weren't scientists, that they weren't masterful builders, and they dealt with chemistry and alchemy. They will do anything. The truth of the matter is, they put them pyramids together like it was baking a damn cake. Huh? They used chemistry. They used alchemy. Huh? They molded it. They molded it. Liquid stone. And when it hardens, just like clay, you can make it any type of shape you want. It was like clay. You see? They want to tell you that the pyramids was just something that they put together with some slaves. And they had them working endless hours to put some negative light on Kemet. Not telling you that these were scientists that was building this thing, man. Under the instruction of my man Imhotep. They don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you that. Huh? Oh yeah. We know how to whip it, Latifah. Huh? We got young boys in the hood right now whipping up cocaine and crack like it ain't nothing. Huh? Young boys. We know chemistry. That's in our core. They didn't teach us that. Huh? Somebody went in there and they whipped it up. And Imhotep was the first one. He was the first scientist. I want y'all to get a book. It's called Imhotep. And in there, he actually quotes himself as saying that he put it together. He created a compound of liquid stone, something like baking a cake, something like putting together a cake. I forgot what kind of cake, what he called it. It was a different word that he used instead of cake. But it was their version of cake in Kemet. And he quotes it, saying that. But if we don't do the research on it, we're never going to find it. We're never going to realize that they didn't have nobody. You say, well, why would they lie, Jamar? Why would they lie on Egypt? Because they want to usurp their damn religion in there and tell you that the damn Israelites was in there under bondage dragging these stones. That's why. That's why. Huh? It's always going to come back to that. For power and control. That's what it come down to. That's the reason why they sold you that damn story. Huh? Those stones wasn't in that form. Not until it was created. They didn't drag that hundreds of miles. Huh? What are you talking about? That stone was looking like this when they brought it in there. It was like that. And that limestone was everywhere. The hell is you talking about? That limestone was everywhere. They was walking around on it. Huh? They didn't have to drag it from, what? You can use sand, gravel, you could have used anything in there. It was everywhere. Let's talk about this for a second. Huh? Crushed limestone aggregate. Its higher yields. Limestone is very durable and wear resistant, which contributes to high spread rates. It's lightweight. Limestone is about 6% lighter than granite, aggregate, or gravel. Its permeability. Limestone is an ideal product for maintaining natural water flow and drainage while meeting regulatory compliance for managing runoff. Why do you think it lasts so long? Controlling pollutants and sustaining forestry. What? Versatility. Various grade sizes of limestone make it ideal for a broad range of applications such as, I can't even see that word, filter, yes, base course, landscaping, and agriculture. Availability. Limestone is plentiful throughout North America. Its affordability. Limestone is one of the highest value / lowest cost construction aggregates available. Crushed limestone aggregate is popularly used for base course, ready mixed concrete, and asphalt. And production and construction. Limestone is the best aggregate that you can use, and Imhotep laid down that work for us to have that knowledge already. He did that. So before we was walking around on the concrete like we got now with streets and roads and all that, they took that technology from Imhotep. He invented it. He created the source. That's a fact. So what they're going to do is they're going to tell you, oh yeah, we don't know how they did it. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. We know how they did it. Let me see if I can pull up something. Let me show you this real quick. Ground granulated blast surface. This is GBS. I want y'all to see GBS because this is important too. When you look at this picture here, this diagram that I showed y'all, let me pull that up. See if I can find it here. They also add GGBS. GGBS. You say, what is GBBS? Thank you, Doris, for the donation. You say, what is GGBS? GGBS is ground granulated blast furnace slag. Okay? Ground granulated blast furnace slag. And it's obtained by quenching molten iron slag, a byproduct of iron and steel making, from a blast furnace in water or steam to produce a glassy, granular product that is then dried and ground into the powder. So first, when they get it, it's just grounded up rocks. It's grounded up rocks. They take that grounded up rocks, add it with the solvent, add it with the water. You understand? And it creates this mold. It's like clay. It's molding clay, literally. So you say, well, where's the mold at? You know, how did they create them? You know, they're all the same size. Well, if you go inside the king's chamber, you'll see your mold right there. It's still there. They just told you that they buried dead bodies in that. That's where the king was supposed to go. That's a damn lie. That's the mold right there that they used to pour the solvent in there, to pour the compound in there, to create the damn stones. It's right there. It's in your face. But they told you that this was a tomb for the pharaoh. That's a damn lie. Our people don't work like that. When we make tombs for the pharaohs, our tombs look like this, bro. They got names and inscriptions all over the place. Here you have the tomb of Tutankhamun. Here you have the tomb of Seti I. We laid our people down to rest in a glorious style. It wasn't no bland room like that we're gonna put our king in. Oh no. Not if we building this great pyramid. We're gonna lay him down right, bruh. You see what happened when you know your history and you know how your people did things? When you know they work, you know we didn't lay our pharaoh, our Nasut down like that. We put inscriptions on the wall to let you know, first and foremost, who's laying there, right? And we put inscriptions up there to tell you, to help guide them into the afterlife. It was never, ever bland and blank, such as what they tell you is in the king's chamber. The pyramids were not a tomb. The pyramids of Giza was not a tomb. Otherwise, you would have seen the inscriptions of who lies there. This is where they get their whole damn formation of, oh yo, we're gonna put a tombstone up. They got that from us. We was the first ones putting tombstones up. We buried our dead. They didn't bury their dead. Like I told you, they was in the Caucasus Mountains. They couldn't bury their dead. Their dead was laying right next to them. This is why they created zombies and all of that. Because they're dead. Grandma was laying right there. Grandpa was laying right there, stinking. looking crazy in the face, so they created the spookism behind dead bodies. We laid our people to rest in glorious fashion, and we respected them as ancestors when they moved on into the afterlife. Facts. That's how we work. It's the only way you're going to create beautiful things like this. It's got to be smooth, man. You got to mold that thing. You can't take stone and chisel it smooth like that. Oh no, it's got to be molded, baby, like clay. Huh? That's how you do it. You see? And you can use any type of aggregate that you want. You can even use liquid gold. You can even use liquid gold. Huh? How do you think they created those golden masks? Huh? Liquid gold, baby. Granulate, baby. Huh? And I love my ancestors, yo. Welcome to the lighthouse. These are the secrets. Ain't nobody telling you this. Huh? These scholars ain't getting into this. No. Because you got to deal with science. They scared of science. Huh? You got to deal with science. And why would you be scared of it when our ancestors invented science? Huh? The reason why they don't want to deal with science is because it crushes all the spookism that they're trying to give you. Right? A lot of them still trying to shift you into religion. They give you the knowledge and then they say, well, you know, you could, you know, in Christianity it says this. Well, you know, in Islam it says this, you know, because they still trying to usurp that religion to you under the gate. That little, that's what they do. They give you knowledge. They say, come here, let me see you. I got some knowledge for you. So word out, yo, check it. You know what I'm saying? Hit you with that religion, bro. What? How you thinking the people of Kemet had them slaves in there for 400 years? You know how they do, huh? That's how they do you. That's the story they gave you. Yo, bro, I can't, yo. We were in bondage for 430 years. Moses set us free. It was Moses. Yo, we crush it all their lives, man. Every damn day, 365 days a year, we crushing these lives, man. We crushing these lives. Cause see, as above, so below, man. Anything that you could do could be duplicated on a smaller level, man. That's facts. You understand? Molecular structure. We understood molecular structure, top to bottom. You can't do nothing with numbers. You can't do nothing with science. Stop it. You can't do nothing. We off with your head. Off with your head. So now, you say, well, what were they created for? The pyramids were created, like I told you, the land was fertile, right? We're dealing with nice land and fertile soil. The pyramids were built on an aquifer. An aquifer. An aquifer is water or irrigation system underground. Okay? And this water, this irrigation system, was used to produce energy. Okay? Because it's not a tomb. We already killed that. It's not a tomb. So they could dead that whole tomb thing. This thing was built for a reason. And it was built on top of an aquifer. And the aquifer, as you know, when you're dealing with electromagnetivity, when you're dealing with energy or electricity, water is a great conductor of electricity. So if you have water under the foundation, you know how if you're being shocked, the worst place that you could be is standing on water. Don't you know that? That's the worst place you can be, standing on water. Why? Because that water will conduct the electricity even more. So you can't stand on any type of water without being electrified if electricity is current. Like, you're done. This is why they get you out of the pool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get out of the pool, get out of the pool, because that water, if it strikes that water, bro, night night. Night night. Like I told my son Judah, you ready to go night night? Oh yeah, you're going night night. So the pyramids were taking the water that was under the ground and using it, pulling it up, and it was using it to shoot out through granite. When you electrify the granite, it gives you that glow. Many people will tell you, many scholars will tell you that the pyramids were white as snow. And it shined. You can see it from way far off. Why? Because it was shooting out energy. Electromagnetivity that was glowing. They polished it with limestone. They polished it with granite. So this stuff would glow. You ever seen granite? when it's electrified, when it glows, it was shooting out actual energy, electromagnetic energy. It was built on a ley line. The pyramids are built on a ley line. Remember what I told you about the ley lines and how spiders build their electric webs on ley lines to shock their prey? They had a power grid. That's what the pyramids were. There was no chiseling going on. Like they tried to break it down to you European style, Caucasian style, to try to make you seem like the Africans were primitive and they were chiseling stuff out. Because the most you're going to get is this right here if you're chiseling something out. That's the most that you're going to get, really. And even then, you're going to have to use a lot of water. It's still going to have to be somewhat clay form in order for you to even do that. You understand? It would take forever. And it would not be smooth. It would not be smooth the way you see here. They put aggregates together of different compounds of stone. They understood the chemical composition of the stones that they were working with to create these different things. You see what I'm saying? This is how they do it. And they molded it. They molded it. And when they created the mold, all it needed was to create the first mold. Once you create the first mold, then all the rest of them be the same. You just dump in the aggregate into the mold, which they told you was going to be a sarcophagi, but that's a damn lie. That's not a sarcophagi. We wouldn't have done it like that. That's mad tacky, yo. That's mad tacky. You mean tell me they was going to put that king in there and he going to have no inscriptions on his wall? That's disrespectful, especially when you've been building a pyramid for what they said over 20 years. That'd have been real disrespectful, bro. Huh? Nah, bro. That was molded. That was the mold right there. And they used that to dump in the aggregate. So back to Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla takes this technology of the pyramids, right? And he uses that to create his tower. Same technology. Same technology that we use to create light. He used that to create his tower. You see? And that's the same reason why we wore gold, right? And all these precious jewels and stuff, because they were conductors of magnetic current. Feel what I'm saying? Magnetism. That's what it was all about. Utilizing that power, but within the body. We wanted to use that same power within our bodies. You see? And that's what Nikola Tesla did. He took that technology and he patented it. You know, I studied him because, you know, it was a wonder. Let me show you something. Just so y'all know, like, I'm just a different breed of researcher. I'm a different breed of a teacher. I go and I get the books on these people. You understand? I go and I get the books. You can see where I'm at. And this is how I came to this conclusion. You see where I'm at, what page I'm on right now. Okay? So, inside this book, it has how he actually did it. How he did it. How he created the oscillator. You understand what I'm saying? I got the schematics. This is everything in here. This is the inventions. You see that? The inventions and the writings, the researches. You see that? Of Nikola Tesla. I got all this work right here. So I know where he got it from. I'm not just talking. It's not just speculating. We're not guessing over here, bro. You know? We got too many scholars guessing. We're not guessing. We got the paperwork. Shungite water. Keep my body electrified. We're not guessing over here, man. His name is Nikola Tesla. Nikolatesla. Nikola Tesla. Okay? Special things today, but before we do that, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you can get the subscriptions and the notifications of when we're having our sessions. 9 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday. All right? So, what we want to cover today, we want to cover giants. want to cover giants. Before we begin, assalamu alaikum, shalom, Imhotep family. Thank you for being here. Giants. I love this subject. Why? Because there's layers. I like anything with layers. I like things that are multi-layered. And when we're dealing with giants, we're dealing with multi-layers. They really cleverly finessed this giant situation as far as the information that we are able to receive and what we're able to render. Okay? So, when we're talking about giants, this story you can find in the biblical text. You can find this in pretty much all walks of life, whether it be mythological, and even current day-to-day. Okay? I like to reference the biblical text because a lot of people here in America like to utilize that as law, and they like to speak literally of a lot of things that may not necessarily be supposed to be taken literal. Now, in the past, I've already told you when we deal with the biblical text that we're dealing with allegory, metaphorical principles. We are dealing with the Sun Book. We're dealing with, things that may not necessarily are supposed to be taken literal. Okay, and where the story of giants comes into play, there's several times in the biblical text where it references it, where it talks about David and Goliath, where it talks about in the beginning. Well, I should just go to the verse right here. It talks about the Nephilim, the giants, the fallen ones, right? And it starts off by saying there were giants in those days, right? This is Genesis 6:4. It says there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. The same became mighty which were of old, men of renown. Okay? And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. That is Numbers 13:33. Okay? So now, you guys know I always like to break down stuff. I always like to break it down. When we're dealing with anything in biblical text, we have to deal with its original word, okay? Who wrote it, right? And the context of which it was written in, okay? So let's deal with the word giant for a second. Let's deal with the word giant, right? The word giant, as we know it here in America, we're usually referring to something large, right? It's a giant, right? When we say a giant, we think of a really large human being. He was a giant. Like when we look at David and Goliath, this guy was massive. We think of him as somebody that's like 12 feet tall, 15 feet tall, whatever have you. Okay, but I think it's important that we look at the word giant and define these things, right? It says giant, an imaginary or mythical being of human form but superhuman size. Okay, he's colossal, right? Mammoth, monster, right? Leviathan, Titan, all these things, giantess. But there's something cleverly hidden here. You want to look at the second definition, which is highlighted, and it says astronomy. It says a star of relatively great size and luminosity compared to ordinary stars of the main sequence and 10 to 100 times the diameter of the sun. Wow. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. You can use the word giant for damn near anything. You can say a giant chair, right? A giant house, a giant car, right? A giant book. But when we look up the definition of the word giant, they chose to use astronomy in relative to the stars. Why? Why astronomy? Out of all of the branches of all the sciences, why did they choose to use astronomy to reference the word giant? Some of you probably with the third eye have already figured this out. Etymology destroys everything. The word giant at its origin, once again, is Greek. It comes from the word gigas, or gigant. Okay? We're dealing with Greek words. So when we're dealing with a giant, we have to understand that a giant and a Nephilim are two totally different things. A giant and a Nephilim are two totally different entities. But they've usurped the word giant and made you think that they were synonymous with a Nephilim. Are you getting me? This is where transliterations of the Bible become dangerous. This is where it becomes dangerous. Because now we think anytime that they reference the word giant, we're talking about a human. When in actuality, they could be referencing a star. In which I've already told you, the Bible is a book about the sun, which is what? A star, the sun book. Specifically, we're talking about a giant. We're talking about Goliath. Let's deal with Goliath. Do you know that there's a star called Goliath? Did you know that there is a Goliath star? Let's get into it. Guess what a Goliath star looks like? If you've been on this feed long enough, you probably already put the answer in the feed. This is a Goliath star, family. That's the Goliath star. Can you count how many sides there are on a Goliath star? If you know how many sides there are and you can count, please put that in the feed. How many sides are on a Goliath star? Oh, you're gonna get this work today, baby. You're gonna get this work today. Huh? How many sides are on the Goliath star? Put your nines up, no pun intended. Put your nines up. Oh man, yo. Oh man. They're giving you sacred geometry. Huh? They're giving you the stars, man. That's what this book is about. I don't care which story that you want to pull out. It's always going to lead you back to the cosmos. Okay? I don't know how many different ways I got to give it to y'all. It's always going to lead back to the cosmos. That number 9 is a bad man. Huh? A giant star. Oh, it's listed. A giant star is a star with substantially large radius and luminosity than a main sequence or dwarf star of the same surface temperature. They lie above the main sequence luminosity class. What is that? 4? Can't see. 5 in the Yerkes spectral classification on the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram and correspond to luminosity classes 2 and 3. All right. All right. So now you know what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a Goliath. A Goliath is a star. And it's only coincidental that the Goliath was lined up with a smaller version of himself, both warriors. David would have represented the dwarf star. The dwarf. Huh? A smaller star. Let's look up the word dwarf. It's no coincidence that dwarf, they use astronomy as well in the second definition of what a dwarf is. When we think of dwarfs, we think of small human beings because that's what you were taught. But that's not what it was by definition originally. The first science was astronomy. Are you with me? The first science was astronomy. A dwarf, a star of relatively small size and low luminosity, including the majority of main sequence stars. Germanic. Germanic came after Greek. You understand? They're giving you a chain of command here. See, it's not a coincidence that David took 5 stones to defeat Goliath. He took 5 stones. Right? So you say, okay, well, where's the number 5 come into play with all of this? Right? We understand that a nanogram or a star with 9 sides with 9 flashes of radiant light has a counterpart. And if you study my main man that I told you to study, which was Nikola Tesla, right? You would understand by now the power of the 3, 6, and the 9. he understood Kemet very well. One of the very few white men that I respect as far as knowledge, right? Even though he took a lot of it and patented, he laid it down. He was honest, and that's why they don't want to give him no glory. Nikola Tesla. He explains the power of the 3, 6, and the 9, right? In the biblical text, you'll find a lot of Hebrew scholars, you'll find a lot of Christian scholars where they say, well, we don't know if David took 4 or 5 stones. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The number 4 and the number 5 are significant in this. You know why? Because according to the power of the 3, 6, and the 9, the number 4 and the number 5 are on the opposite spectrum of the number 9, the nanogram. That's why they say we don't know if he took 4 or 5 stones. Why when David picked up his stones. They're giving you the Fibonacci sequence. You understand? They're giving you the golden ratio or the fingerprint of God. They're telling you how divine stars are because it has that 9 in it. You understand? The same swirl, the same 9, the fingerprint of God that twirls out of your head. The same fingerprint of God that you have on your fingertips. This is real knowledge of self. This is real knowledge of self that I'm giving y'all right now. Y'all are connected to the cosmos. Y'all are connected to astronomy. Y'all are connected to the nanograms. You understand? They wanted to usurp the nanogram as a symbol of the giants. Right? But really, we got to deal with the Nephilim, not giants. This is why wordplay is very important, because they can deceive you in the wordplay. They say, oh no, it don't matter what you say as long as you know what I mean. No, bro. No. Wordplay is everything. It's everything. It's what channels you to go down one dimension or another just by simply changing the spell, changing the word. It will take you down a whole different path of knowledge that don't even exist if you're not careful. There's a difference between a giant and a Nephilim. So now, let's deal with the Nephilim. Now that we've explained the context, because I don't want y'all to get confused, we've explained the context of a giant and a Nephilim. There was no David and Goliath. It was only a giant star and a dwarf star. Okay? That's what that story is about. It's talking to you about the Fibonacci sequence. It's breaking down the sequence of numbers to create that pattern, to create the divine order of what they called God. Right? Let's deal with the Nephilim. Nephilim and Jehoram. In most translations of the scriptures, the word giant actually comes from 2 distant terms in Hebrew. Nephilim, the fallen ones, fallen angels called watchers. Jehoram, mighty ones, superhuman demigods, half human and half angel. The word giant actually comes from the Greek gigantes, which also means mighty ones, not necessarily large humans. Huh? But from this, we get the words giant and gigantic. You see? Gigantes. This actually means earthborn, a distinction made to them denoting their hybrid miscegenation of heavenly and earthly. From these Jehoram came forth demon spirits who possesses people trying desperately to be in the flesh again, since theirs was destroyed in the great flood and burned to ash in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. So now, we understand that there's a difference between a giant and a Nephilim. Clearly. So now let's deal with the Nephilim. The Nephilim. Who were the Nephilim? The Nephilim were beings that were walking the earth. They were large. I don't want to call them humans at this point. There is inconclusive information, and we don't speculate on this channel. We do not speculate on this channel. But if you go in any walk of life, they will tell you that these Nephilim were procreating with our women, with human beings. Okay? Some of them revered these giants. Most people revered the giants. Or, I'm sorry, I got to get out of it too. Most people revered the Nephilim, because the Nephilim stood at a minimum 12 feet tall. And you can find this all over the planet. So what happened was, they had humans fighting against the Nephilim. They had wars, and you can find what we call petroglyphs. All right, I love petroglyphs. Let me tell you why I like petroglyphs. Petroglyphs are pictures that people have drawn on the walls in caves, right? And the reason why I like these pictures or petroglyphs is because petroglyphs represent, to me, the common man. It represents the one who is not as mighty, right? So these people would draw stories, right, in an honest way of what they saw. You understand? They were not the scribes like you would find in Kemet. Petroglyphs you can find all over the world, but you can find a lot of them in the Americas. And here's what some of them look like. Here we have an illustration of a petroglyph that was done over, and it shows a Nephilim or large being attacking smaller ones, and they're going at war. They were warring against one another. So we had the humans, as you see, one is all bloodied up and red, and the other one, it looks like it hit his leg and he's bleeding in his leg. You see, they were warring against the Nephilim. These are ancient inscriptions. You understand? And it was said that these Nephilim also had 6 fingers and 6 toes. I should say 6 fingers on each hand, 6 toes on each foot. And they drew honest depictions of these Nephilim hands. And these are all over the place. All over the place. And you can find these petroglyphs only in caves, really. Why? Because that's where humans hid from the Nephilim. In caves. This is when you start dealing with Anunnaki, the Anak, the sons of Anak. This is where these stories start to come from. But it was also said that these Nephilim were raping the women, were raping the humans, and having sex with the humans. And this is how we end up with people being born with 6 fingers on each hand. Even today, they're being born with 6 fingers on each hand. 6 fingers on each foot. Because that DNA was usurped into their system. You see? These are the sons of Anak. These are the sons of the Nephilim. You see, there's a woman there from Brazil. You will mainly find this in the Americas. You will mainly find this in the Americas. The Americas was the stomping grounds of the Nephilim. I need you to understand that. These were said to be the beings that were digging out the Nile River. Okay? But what I want you to understand is they started having relations with humans. Why? Because they wanted to create a worker race to do the work for them. It was the Nephilim that was digging out what you see as far as the Grand Canyon, the Nile River. They dug those out. But the thing that they don't want you to know is that the Nephilim was cool with black people. Woo! The Nephilim and the people of Kemet was homies. Homies. They work with one another. They work with one another. You understand? And no, we can't call it a birth defect because they was here first. If anything, we might have been the birth defect. That's inconclusive. We're not here to give you no spookism. We're here to give you the truth. All over the walls, you see these Nephilim working with us on one accord, dressed like us. Huh? We was getting along with all the races. You understand? All the different beings we got along with. We got along with the pygmies, or I should say the Twa people. We got along with them too. Huh? Don't play with me. See what they do? Don't get it confused. Don't get it confused with these type of glyphs right here. You see? Because here, this is a human being, but this is one, he's just creating a statue. You see that? He's just polishing a statue. That's different. That's different. Don't get it confused, because that's how they're going to try to give you the okie doke. These are the ones that you can't deny when they're walking hand in hand, and you know that those aren't deities. You understand? These aren't deities. These are humans. They are human-like, I should say. You understand? We was cool with them. And we work with them. It coincides with the epic of After the High Seas tablet WB62, where these beings were digging out tunnels. And they wanted to create a race to help them do that work. And they passed down the divine knowledge of the plane and how to do the work. You understand? That was the Nephilim, or which they call the sons of God, right? The mighty ones. They call them the fallen ones. Why do they call them the fallen ones? Why do they call them the fallen ones? I'm going to tell you why. Because when they came out the mountains and we was working with the Nephilim, the first people that they took, the first people they had to take out was the Nephilim. And you can find the petroglyphs of that. Check that out. Or the white man going and killing them. Huh? This is where you get the stories of Gulliver's Island and Gulliver's Travels, where you got the little men killing off the giant, huh? The Nephilim was our peoples, yo. That's a fact. You can find many drawings of them running up on the Nephilim and overpowering them, chopping down their Asherah trees, the large trees that they needed for oxygen to even survive. They became weakened over time because when they came out the mountains, they was right there. They was right there next to Mount Meru. And they chopped down them poles, so now we have less oxygen. Ain't no way a Nephilim can survive in little oxygen. They need the oxygen, bro. So they came out and they started defeating the Nephilim. They started even harvesting body parts. You see? You see? They even had some of our people joining with them, killing off the Nephilim. And as you see here, they're taking the body parts and they're putting them in these cart-like structures. They're putting them on boats. You see that? On barks. And they're taking the body parts and transporting them. Could be for whatever, food, because some of them was cannibals. You know what I'm saying? They took out the Nephilim, y'all. You see, these petroglyphs, they honest because they come from the regular human being, the one that didn't have the power, that didn't have the hierarchy of scholars and kings threatening to cut your head off. Not only did they draw human beings like that, taking out Nephilim, but they also drew human beings with large dinosaur-like creatures, showing that we lived during that time. They like to separate the large creatures or beasts and dinosaurs from when we were actually here. We was here, bro. We was here. You can find these stories of the Nephilim everywhere. Everywhere. You go to Sumer, you're dealing with Gilgamesh, you're dealing with Nimrod. You see? They said that Gilgamesh stood at 12 feet tall. Here he is clutching a lion. A full-grown ass lion, and he got a lion around his neck like it's a pet cat. Huh? These were the ones that was defeating, and these were the first kings. These were the first Nasut. It was these bad boys right here. And we was warned against these bad boys from the jump. That's what happened. You see? To give you an idea of how large they were, here you have a regular human being's jaw and a Nephilim jaw side by side to show you how massive they were. Here you have a tooth of a Nephilim to show you how massive they were. The Nephilim had 2 rows of teeth. They had 2 rows of teeth. The dental problems that we have now, when we have teeth growing behind teeth, that's the DNA of Nephilim within our bodies still. You understand? So when you have that second row, some of you might have teeth that are a little awkward, a little off. Chances are you got some of that Nephilim in you, bruh. That's why it's growing like that. You understand? You can go back. I remember when I used to go to the library as a kid, they used to have what they call a info track. Info track. Info track is what we have now, or what we call the internet. But info track was the bomb because info track, it had real newspapers. It was real actual newspapers on film, on like Fuji film. And you could look through it and see old newspapers. I used to love it because I used to go and look up the Titanic. I was obsessed with the Titanic, and I would go and look at the newspaper of the Titanic, of the day when it crashed. You understand? And you can find articles like this where they show where they found a lot of these Nephilim bodies. When they killed the Nephilim, they would put them in mounds. And right here in the States, they would put them in these large mounds. Wisconsin was one of the main states where they found a lot of these bones. Okay? The discovery of several skeletons of human beings while excavating a mound at Lake Delavan indicates that a heretofore unknown race of men once inhabited southern Wisconsin. Information of the discovery was brought to Madison today by Maurice Morrissey of Delavan, who came here to attend a meeting of the Republican State Central Committee. Coroner Charles II Brown of the State Historical Museum will investigate the discoveries within a few days. You see, upon opening one large mound at Lake Lawn Farm, 18 skeletons were discovered by the Phillips brothers. The heads, presumably those of men, are much larger than the heads of any face which inhabit America today. From directly over the eye socket, the head slopes straight back, and the nasal bones protrude far above the cheekbones. The jaw bones are long and pointed, bearing a minute resemblance to the head of the monkey. The teeth in the front of the jaw are regular molars. There were also found in the mounds the skeletons, presumably of women, which had smaller heads but were similar in facial characteristics. The skeletons were embedded in charcoal and covered over with layers of baked clay to shed water from the sepulchre. So we killed them, and they put the charcoal on them, they put the clay on it, and it preserved them somewhat, you know. They wanted to make they wanted to make sure that them Nephilim was dead. See, before they came at us, they couldn't come directly at us. This is why the story of David and Goliath, it kind of parallels that story. You understand? Because that was a marvelous feat for them to take out the Nephilim. They couldn't do nothing with Kemet until they did something with the Nephilim, because the Nephilim is the ones that were responsible for all of Africa and all of the irrigation systems that we had of those rivers. They made us according to that. And that's what you'll find in the Epic of Ata-Hasis. That story is in there. You see? This is why they don't want you going into Nineveh. This is why they don't want you going to the cities of Ur, to let you know what was in there. Because that's where those stories are. The Nephilim stories. You understand? This is why they tell you Sodom and Gomorrah, all that got destroyed. Yeah, you're damn right. That was one of the first things they did. They had to run up in there and destroy that before they could deal with Kemet. Because the Nephilim wasn't going to have that. But by then, the Nephilim was so weak because they went for the trees first, the Asherah poles. They cut down all the trees. They depleted the oxygen on the planet, all over the planet first. You understand? And they became weak. They were large, but they were slow and weak by that point. It had messed up the vegetation and how they ate. We got to talk about their story first. What happened to them? You can't just wipe out a whole race of beings like that. You got to take out their infrastructure. You got to take out their habitat, which they still do today. That's how you wipe out a whole race. That's how you wipe out, how you make an animal extinct. It's the same way with human beings. If you take away our resources and how we eat, if you deplete our oxygen, if you take away our natural habitat, we will die. That's what they did to the Nephilim. So when we're dealing with the Nephilim, we cannot synonymously represent them as giants, because they are two different things. You understand? Two totally different things. A giant and a Nephilim. These inscriptions you can find everywhere. This is the stuff that's going to be really hidden, man. This is the stuff that you're not going to find in a book. You got to be able to know knowledge on all different levels and piece your pieces together. You see, they wanted to change the symbol of the Nephilim, which is the nanogram, to the symbol of humans, right? Which is the 6-pointed star. That's the symbol of Jewish faith. That's when religion comes into play. They adopted that. Okay? That's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with giants. Giants. Understand? Makes sense? Of course. So now, with that being said, where I'm about to take y'all is someplace nobody wants to go. We're going to talk about Hitler. We're going to talk about Hitler. Don't get scared now. Don't get scared now. Who was he? What was he doing? What was he doing? Huh? What was he doing? Why did he have to kill so many people? What was he up to? Anybody know? Was it just hate? Was it just hate? If we read a book on Gandhi, you better read a book on Hitler. You better know both sides of the ledger. Huh? So, let's go get this work, okay? Before we get to Hitler, I want to take you someplace. I want to take you to a man. We're going to go to the board in a second. I have a lot to show you, very little time. So you're going to need a pad and paper to write down some key names, okay? Or steal somebody's phone, write some notes, okay? Because it's about to get real crazy where we're about to go, okay? So you're going to need to pay attention, because I guarantee you I'm going to show you some things that you've never, ever seen before, okay? So we're going to go to the board, all right? And I'm going to try to set you guys up so you can see it the way you're supposed to see it properly, okay? Got a bunch of stuff to show you guys, so bear with me as I get you guys set up. Get my little tripod right, because we're going in today. We're going in today. You know, anytime you deal with something like Hitler, people get real spooky and real scary. You know, they try to call you all sorts of names in the book, but you know, this is the Truth Channel. We're gonna put it out there so everybody knows what was really going on. Okay? Let's flip this thing around so y'all can see it the right way, so we have no backwards writing. All right. All right. Can we see the board nice and clear? Huh? It's Monday. You know, we got to put that work in on Monday. Let me show you some things here. First and foremost, what I want to show you is this guy right here. His name is Gerard Mercato. Gerard, or Gerardos Mercato. Okay? And this is the guy who's responsible for drawing out the longitudes and latitudes. He created the longitudes and latitudes. Can you guys see that? Okay? Is that nice and clear for you guys? Is that zoomed in enough? Okay? Gerardo Mercato. Mercator means merchant. Okay? Now, this guy was a student. Let me pull up my information here. He was a student and a cartographer. Okay? His main income was mathematics. So he was a mathematician. He later became a cartographer under the study of Gemma Fresius. Gemma Fresius. So if you don't know who these people are, these are the orchestrators of the globe. Okay? He's the one who gave you the longitude and latitude. Before there was a globe, it was him. Without him, you have no globe. Because he's the one that had to lay out the lines to create the globe that we have today. Okay? And he was a student of Gemma Fresius. Gemma Fresius was one of the main guys who was creating globes. Okay? But you know, they wanted to make it uniform. Okay? So they got this guy, who was a mathematician, to create these lines, which we now call longitude and latitude. Now, his work was so profound that they charged him with heresy, okay? Because it didn't line up with Christianity and Christian principles. So they charged him with heresy because of his work and the maps that he's creating. So now let's go to his map, and I'm gonna show you what he created. His map of the world. It's right here. This is his map of the world, okay? So now, this is around the 1400s, mid-1400s, I should say. Actually, I'm sorry, this is around the 1500s. This map right here is when you first start seeing the maps being now the other way around. Instead of upside down the way they should be, you start seeing the maps like this. He created the longitudes and latitudes, okay? And he turned everything upside down. Now, the reason why he turned everything upside down, you see Africa right here, right? The reason why they made him change it, they made him change the map, and they were charging him with heresy, is because of this little section right here. Right here, folks. Can you see that I'm circling right here? This little section right here, which is his map of Antarctica. His map of Antarctica. Now, one of the things that I want you to notice here is that his map, as you can see here, I want you to see how large this is right here, and how large this ice area is right here. Just look at how large it is, okay? When you study these ancient maps, you start seeing what's really going on. Look at how large this area is. Look at how large this area is, okay? In your modern day maps, you see Antarctica, the North and South poles, and they're kind of small. They're like, they're these circles, and you can see the whole thing. Here, you can't even see the whole thing. You can't even see the whole thing. Now, these cartographers are different from what we have today because they actually had to go out and measure it out and actually walk this land in order to chart it. Okay? So their land maps was super, super accurate. Okay? And he's the one who gave you the lines so you can see what's going on. You can actually draw a line from one place to the other so that you don't get lost and you can see where you're going. So now, I want to take you to this area here. I'm going to give you a close-up of it. And I want you to see what we see. Look at this. Look at this. This, my friends, is the North Pole. This is the North Pole. And according to him, when he charted it out, when he got to the North Pole and he saw this, he saw a large, what they call mountain in the middle of the North Pole. And it separated it into four islands. Okay? 4 islands. And he said, here, there's a rock in the middle called Rupus Negra, a big black rock, super large. You can barely even see the top of it. You can't even see the top. He said it reaches towards the heavens. And he said the ocean waves are so rough that you can't get all the way to it. He said these ocean waves that split up, right? He said one leads to the Nile of Africa, and the others lead to various places like South America, India, so on and so forth. And the way that these waters run, they go like this, and they form a whirlpool. Huh? This is what the North Pole really looks like. So now let me give you a better look, a better idea of what these 4 islands are like. Check this out. We have the rock here, the 4 islands, and here's California right here. This is the United States. Look, America. See, Ameri? This is America right here. Why is America so close to here? Why is California so close to the poles? Doesn't make sense. Makes absolutely no sense. Here we have Greenland. We're getting around to Europe here. The northern part of Europe. They call this area the Northern Lands. Okay? Asia. Okay? Asia and India is over here. Here we have all these lands and they're right next to the North Pole. So now, what you need to ask yourself is, how is California right next to the North Pole? That doesn't make sense, right? And simultaneously, Asia, okay, Finland, all these areas are simultaneously next to the North Pole. Ask yourself, when you use a compass, how come it only points to the North Pole? If you go to the southern region of the world, how come it doesn't now point to the South Pole? Doesn't make sense. Are you with me? So generally, he said that this rock right here is a magnetic rock. It's a huge magnetic rock. And this huge magnetic rock is what is forming these whirlpools. If you don't know, magnets work well in salt water, even more well in salt water. You take out the salt and the magnetic rock can't work. So this is the reason why your compass only faces north, because there is no South Pole. We are completely surrounded, as his map showed, with nothing but ice that goes all the way across. You want to know why? When you use your compass, it only shows the North Pole? Because it's a circle. Just because you navigate in a circle doesn't mean that the world is a sphere. It just means you went around in a damn circle. Are you with me? All right. So this is Gerardo. Here's another one of his maps. Look at how large he makes it. Look at that. Okay? He's the one who's in charge of making the globe. They told him, no, go back, and they wanted him to make a globe. Okay? So here we go. This large rock. Actually, let's go back to this map here, because this is what I want to break down to you. What you are looking at with this large rock, you are actually looking at the swastika. This is the point, and these are the dimensions of the swastika and how the current of water flows. Oh, now we got people waiting. You said, what this got to do with Hitler? This is the symbol he was using. It's the ancient symbol. And this symbol has been around forever. Before anybody gets crazy, I'm going to start bringing up all the people that use the symbol, because I did the research. Here we have America. This is why the four-leaf clover is lucky, because it resembles the swastika. Okay? It means good luck. Let's go. Ireland. Four-leaf clover. Four-leaf clover. Norway. Buddha. Poland. Swastika. Spain. Swastika. The Sudan, Africa. Swastikas. Let's keep it going. America. Ancient America. Swastika. Let's keep going. Here's some other countries. This is how they resemble it in all the countries. The swastika. They putting it right here in plain sight, y'all. The Celtics. Swastika. Ask yourself, why did these people use a swastika? Has anybody ever asked that question, why the swastika is so important? Greece. Swastikas. All over the place. Let's keep going. France. Swastikas. On their priests. On their priests. Russia. Swastika. I'm going to make sure I get everybody. So anybody who tries to act like they're exempt, we can shoot them down too. Mongolia, swastika, which what looks like looks like to be a sky, right? India, and they said there's 4 trees. This is one that's significant because they said there's 4 trees. Also, we're gonna come back to that. Malaysia, Taiwan. Let's be clear. So anybody that tries to act like they're exempt from this, I got you. Korea, Nepal. Look at the swastikas, y'all. China. Woo, this is getting crazy. It's getting deep. Australia. Japan. Oh, knowledge is power. Central Asia. Central Asia. This is Egypt. This is Egypt. I'm going to show you one real significant here. Israel. Israel. What is a swastika doing in Israel? What is the swastika doing here? That doesn't make sense. Considering if you walk around with the symbol, you're anti-Semitic. What is this doing in Israel? Okay. Here's one with the Star of David around it. Here's one with the Star of David. Oh, it's getting real crazy now. It's getting real crazy now. Okay. So Hitler, here's America. Look, U.S. Army flying around with the swastika. They told y'all the swastika was evil. Is it? Oh, is it? Or was Hitler on to something? Was he on to something? I'm going to prove to you that he was. I'm going to prove to you that he was on to something. Here's Finland. It's actually on their king flag. Okay. So what Hitler did, when his army started defeating, they defeated Austria, Poland, Czechoslovakia. Okay? When they started wiping these dudes out, they said, we're about to take over the whole world. How are we going to do it? Let's send our people out. So you know where? Right here. Right here. Because he who controls this controls everything. You never asked yourself why the water from Africa flows from the south to the north? Here's your answer right here. Here's your answer right here. Because it flows from this whirlpool right here. The swastika. The point. The whirlpool. They say that this mountain extends, this pole, or this tree extends all the way to the heavens. What kind of tree could that be? It would have to be an Asherah tree. Y'all didn't see my lesson on the Asherah trees? And how the trees extended all the way up to the firmament? That's an Asherah tree. Let me break it down for you. Let me break it down for you. What you think is a mountain, see, they call it the Black Rock, they call it the mountain. What you think is mountains is actually trees. These are trees. And these trees got chopped down. These trees were all over the planet. And as long as you live near one of these trees, you had this situation going on. You had this magnetic situation going on with the flow of water to where you can create a civilization around it. Oh, it's getting crazy. Look at this. Look at this. This little island right here is where the pygmies came from. Look, you see? Pygmy. They put it in Latin so you can't figure it out. But this is where the Twa people, our African people, came from. We was the first ones. See? In Kemet, the Pygmy people, the Twa people were considered sacred. Why? Because they were closest to God. Huh? They hide in God, y'all. Look. Let me make sure y'all see it clear. Let's get it in color. You know. Pygmy. Huh? Are you with me? And look, the Pygmy is right next to Ireland and all. Remember we talking about how the Pygmies are the leprechauns, those are the real leprechauns, and they drew them out of Ireland and Finland? That's right here. Look, it's a hop, skip, and jump away. Huh? This is where you get the leprechauns when you're dealing with St. Patrick's Day and the four-leaf clover being lucky. Huh? I just went over that. The four-leaf clover being lucky because that was their symbol. That's where they came from. Huh? Oh, it's getting real crazy. It's getting real crazy. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Now, you say, well, this tree. What is this tree made of? What is this tree made of? It's not made of carbon. It resembles carbon, but it's not made of carbon. This tree was made of silica. Silica. And what silica does, exactly, it's the Jack and the Beanstalk story. That's where it comes from. This is what silica looks like when it's petrified. It forms these hexagon-like patterns, okay? So you might think it's a mountain or stone, but it's just petrified, what we can call wood, but not really wood. It's silica, okay? And this silica is ferromagnetic. Say it with me. Ferromagnetic. F-E-R-R, magnetic. What does ferromagnetism do? What does it do? It's a very strong magnetic force. But this force only works if there is another magnetic force or electromagnetic energy nearby. What is the electromagnetic force that is driving this? The sun. The electromagnetic force of the sun is what is causing this. This rock that's in the middle here cannot do what it does without the sun. Are you with me? This is how the world is operating, and this is how the sun is rotating. This is how it's doing what it does. Okay? So now I'm going to prove to you that that Asherah tree is an Asherah tree. Here we go. These are all the symbols around the world of their deities, of their gods. Remember when I said, well, who is this God that was able to travel around the world so much, so fast? Here it is. You see this right here, ancient Sumer? You see that figure in the middle? That represents the tree, the divine feminine tree. These four entities right here are the four rivers. They were trying to tell y'all. This is the symmetry that they were trying to give y'all. Mesopotamia, pole in the middle. They personified it. They personified it like we always do. Four figures. Look, this right here is a swastika. Let me break it down. Look at the angles. This is a swastika, y'all. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's the rivers. That's a swastika. But if you don't know the symbolism, if you're not from there, you don't see what they're trying to tell y'all. You see how they put like the leaves on it, like how it's draping down? Look at that. This is a tree, but they personified it. So everywhere around the world, they was drawing their figures. Here we have in Kemet the tree of life, right? Tree of life, right? As above, so below. So this will represent the sun up top. This is the sun right here in Kemet. That's what they represent right here when they're doing it in this figure. It's life. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it to you. Let me take you to Japan. There's something key about this Japan. Look, the swastika, the point, the trees in the middle, sun right here, magnetic symbol right here. You see that? You see that? They don't even know what that is. We out of here. We out of here. They talking about flat earth? All right, let's break it down. Let's break it down. This is cuneiform. They use this is their symbol for God. Circle, point, swastika. Huh? Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Kemet real quick. I want to show y'all something because I understand my people in Kemet and I know what they was doing right here. Let me show you what they was doing right here. All right? Matter of fact, I might need to blow this up. Let me go to Google because this got to be real big because I want to make sure that all the scholars get this too, that they don't miss this because they just might miss it. They just might miss it. Oh man, Khemitic cosmology. Let's go. Let's find Nut and Gad. Let's find Nut and Gad because they got the answers, baby. Let's find the perfect one here. Here we go. Here we go. There's my guys. Oh, no. We don't want to go there yet. There's my guys. Nut and Gad. Let's blow it up nice and big. Okay, now, I want you to see something significant here. Significant. Here, we have the sun in the middle, as always. Pole. And then we have 4 layers of life. 4. Life, 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 life. Representing the waters. Huh? And I want you to also notice something else significant here, which is this right here. How many times is Geb actually touching the ground, the flat plane? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I rest my case. I rest my case. Why is Geb touching the ground in 4 different places? Huh? He could touch the ground in several different places. He could have put his hands down there. He could have had his head, could have been laying flat. He's touching the ground in 4 different points. And if you look here, on all the cosmology, here you have a tree, pole in the middle. You see that? Look at this. Look at the foundation. The foundation has always been 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rivers going out. Look at that. Y'all see it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 4. Why? Why? Don't play with me, yo. Don't play with me. We about to get crazy with the research. This is what happens when you do real research. Huh? You start opening up the windows. Look, here go the Hebrews right here. When they get crazy. Pillars of earth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh? We have 2 mountains. Look at this. 2 mountains. You have 2. When you're dealing with magnetic energy, guess what? You have 2 different sides. In order for ferromagnetism to work, you have to have that area, both sides of that mountain. So there's going to be more than one rock. The other side of the rock is the other polarity, which creates the magnetism. Y'all understand how this works? That's ferromagnetism. You need both. Matter of fact, let me see if I can bring something. See if I got that article. Huh? They want scholarship? Give you some articles here. Stop playing. Bear with me. I know some of us don't like to read, but we about to go into this. Huh? We got silica. Okay, so here we got silica real quick. Because I want to break down silica to y'all so you understand how this thing works. Silica is the second most abundant element in the Earth's crust. So you find this in the Earth's crust. Its abundance is estimated to be about 27.6% of the crust. It ranks second only to oxygen. Some authorities believe that the more than 97% of the crust is made of rocks that contain compounds of silicon and oxygen. Silicon has been detected in the sun and stars. Silicon has been detected in the sun and stars. It also occurs in certain types of meteorites known as aerolites or stony meteorites. Meteorites are rock-like chunks that fall to the Earth's surface from outside the Earth's atmosphere. That's key. That's key. Now we know where our meteorites are coming from. Okay, it's silicon. Silicon never occurs as a free element in nature. It's never a free element. It always occurs as a compound with oxygen, magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, or other elements. The most common minerals are those that are silicon dioxide in one form or another. These are known as silicates. Silicon has been detected in the sun and stars. It also occurs in certain types of meteorites. Isotopes. Attraction. Silicon is prepared by heating silicon dioxide with carbon. Carbon replaces the silicon in the compound. The silicon formed is 96 to 98% pure. That's the breakdown of silicon, so you understand how that works. How you measure it in picoseconds. A picosecond is a standard unit of time equal to 10 to the negative 12 power, or 1/112, whatever you call, trillionth of a second. Okay, 1/1,000,000,000 of a second. So that's how you measure how much magnetic pull you're gonna have on that. It's measured in picoseconds. Okay, here you're talking about laser technology. That's where they get all of that stuff from. All right. So now, with that being said, when you're dealing with Hitler. Look, this is a Sumerian bowl with the swastika in the middle, and they accurately laid out Antarctica in the middle. It shows you the fierce water. You see the sharks here, and they're showing you that it's fierce and how they work in a whirlpool type situation. This is 6,000 BC. 6,000 BC we had the swastika already. Why was this symbol so important? What was Hitler actually trying to do? Was he just an evil monster like they said he was, or was he on to something? Was he on to something? This is the Hindu mantra. This is the yantra that we use, rather. Look, it's actually the swastika, y'all. It's actually the swastika. It's the same thing. See the 4 corners? It's the same thing. It's showing the flow of the rivers. This is the symbol of God. Look. These are the men who traveled, who Hitler actually sent out to Antarctica, right? Sent these men out on a voyage. When they got to Antarctica, guess what they found? Here's the proof. Look, this is what they found. This is what they found. They renamed it the Shermaka Oasis. There's actually land in Antarctica that's not frozen. See, they told you Antarctica was all frozen over because they don't want you to go there and figure this stuff out. But they got there and this is what they found. And they actually mapped it out. This is the free of ice lands in Antarctica. So when you go to Antarctica, this is all the area that's free of ice. All of this blue here, all of this is all, listen, this is greenery right here. Remember when General Byrd, he flew to Antarctica, he told you that he saw his compass started spinning around in a circle, and when he got there, he saw a woolly mammoth walking around. Where was woolly mammoth eating from? He was eating from here. He said he saw a woolly mammoth, and he said it turned like 80 degrees. Look, it's all here. And they're actually going there. Look, let me show you some pictures. There's somebody that's there. Look, somebody who actually went there. They out there exploring. So you got to ask yourself, why the hell has this Antarctica peace treaty lasted so long? We ain't never had no peace treaty last so long. But for some reason, this peace treaty lasted forever with all the 12 nations that signed it. Huh? Look at this. Nazi symbol. This is them actually going out there. This is the patches that they wore that took them out to expedition to Antarctica. So you know it's real. 1938 to 1939. This is where they did this expedition. This is the reason why they had to get rid of this guy. This is the reason why they had to get rid of Hitler, because he understood that the tree of life was there. That's the tree of life, y'all. And they trying to cut it down. That's the tree of life, and it's called an Asher Ra. Let's do the research on that real quick. I'm going to take y'all here. Let's go to Google. Let's go to Google. And we're going to type in Asher Ra. So y'all can see I ain't playing. Asher Ra pole. And it's going to take us to the Bible. I'm going to take y'all to the Bible. Okay? I believe it's the book of, I don't even need this. I believe it's the book of Deuteronomy. Let me see if I can get to a Bible app real quick. I'm going to type in Asher Ra. So you understand that that's definitely Asher Ra. In the Bible, they call it Asher Ra pole, right? In the book of Deuteronomy, it tells you, break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and cut down their Asher Ra poles. Cut it down. So there were several AsherRas. Can y'all see that? Cut down. Look at how many verses in the Bible references the Asher Ra pole. Look at this. This is insane. Why is this Asher Ra so important? Why is this Asher Ra pole so important? They didn't even talk about abortion in the Bible, but they talk about this Asher Ra pole. This is what you ought to do to them. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, cut down the Asher Ra poles, and burn their idols in the fire. Break down their altars, smash the sacred stones, and burn their Asher Ra poles in the fire. These are all different books that's talking about it. Do not set up any wooden, we know it's wooden, right? Asher Ra poles beside the altar. Look. The same, tear down your father's altar to Baal and cut down the Asher Ra pole beside it. Huh? Using the wood of the Asher Ra pole that you cut down, offer the second bull as a burnt offering. Huh? Even the Bible references it, y'all. Don't play with me. I'm going to stop right there because we got way too many people following right now. Huh? I'm going to stop right there because you know what? I'm going to be 100% real with y'all. Y'all going to have to do some research. Y'all gonna have to do some research because this is getting ugly. I've been locked in for like 2 days straight. Ain't been able to do nothing around the house because when I hit this knowledge, I couldn't even move. I was stunned. I was done. When the pieces came together, let me put this to sleep real quick because I thank you, boy. You've been working hard today. I'm gonna put you to sleep for the rest of this video so I can talk to the people. They've seen enough. All praise to the boy. So now, let's talk for a minute. Doing this research. Oh, you want me to talk about the firmament? No, we ain't talking about the firmament today. We already been through that. These people gave me such a hard time talking about that damn firmament, so now I had to prove to you where the damn waters come from in Africa and why it flows from the south to the north. See, we got a lot of scholars that deal with Africa. But they're not going to talk to you about where the hell is this water coming from and why is it going against your heliocentric globe theory. It doesn't make sense because water is the answer, y'all. It will never flow from down to up. Water will always find its level. So we know that the water is coming from South Africa, which they call South Africa, which we used to call North Africa. Huh? That should lead you right to the source of where everything is going on. If you can follow the damn river, then you know where the hell God is. Follow the damn river, because whoever bringing us that water, that's where God is going to be. That's where the divine is going to be. I just showed you all of the cultures who references around the world, the ancient cultures, referenced that symbol, that swastika, for a reason. And they turned that swastika evil. Why? Why? It's clear. Some people actually knew what was going on. They had the knowledge. It was all about control. It was all about control. That's what it was. And Hitler, when he finally figured it out, was like, you know what? If I actually take control of this rock, we could have it so nothing but Germans is running this whole damn world, because this magnetic rock is what's running everything. Send the troops out there. Send the troops out there. America and Britain said, oh no, we ain't having that. Huh? First he took over Austria, his hometown. Went from there, and he went to Poland, Czechoslovakia. You know, started dealing with, he took over France. And that's when everybody said, oh no, it's getting real. He's getting too close now. We gotta take him out. Let's take him out. Let's take him out. He's on to something. He knows what's up. When they saw that symbol, when they saw that swastika symbol, that's what drew the red flag. That's why he got so big so fast. They was looking like, yo, we know where that's from. He was getting love from everywhere because that was an ancient symbol of good luck. Why is that? You never asked the question, why is that the symbol of good luck? Huh? All these cultures using it. Why is it the symbol of good luck? Where did they derive it from? Where did it come from? The same way we use the Ankh. Where did it come from? You have to ask yourself, because anytime we drew these symbols, it was according to what we saw in our universe. It was according to what we saw in the world. So where do we find that? The only place we find that is the North Pole, where you can't go, where they have peace treaties. I don't even like saying the North Pole anymore. We're just going to have to say Antarctica because it surrounds us. They told you that there's a little piece up here, ice, and a little piece down here, ice. Nah, bro. That's the reason why your compass spins when you get there, because now it's all around you. Huh? Antarctica is it's surrounding you. That's why it spins. That magnetic pull, when it bounces, it's going all around. You saw what it said. It said, what was it? The Earth's crust, 90-something% of the Earth's crust is made of this silica. This asteroid hole in the middle, which is ferromagnetic. Huh? I know you never heard these terms before, but you're going to have to Google it. Google, define, ferromagnetic. Do the research on it, see how it works. It works great in water. It works awesome in salt water. I'm going to need you to check it out, because it's going to reveal the secrets of the universe and show you how the sun is doing what it does. Huh? Because it's an electromagnetic field coming from the sun. It can't work without an electromagnetic field. And it uses alternating current. You know, like Nikola Tesla? Nikola Tesla's alternating current that runs forever as long as you have the magnetism going and the electromagnetic pull going. This is why the sun has not burned out yet. It's using that electromagnetic force to just keep spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. That's where Nikola Tesla got the whole idea from. He studied Kemet too. They all did. All the master scientists studied Kemet. And where did Kemet get their knowledge from? The pygmies. The little midgets that was running around, the pygmies, excuse me if that's a derogatory term, but yeah, the pygmies, the little people, they're the ones who gave Kemet the knowledge, because they came from one of the 4 countries. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? This is the last bit of proof I'm gonna give you for all you spooky religious folks. I'm gonna give you this one. Let's find this one so you can look it up. See, I told you that when you're dealing with the Bible is a science book. The book of Genesis will teach you how to decode the Bible. The book of Genesis. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 2. Okay? This is after God formed man. Okay? It says the Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life. I'm going to say that again. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden, were the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Good and evil. Positive, negative. Could we be talking about magnetism here? Oh my God. I love my ancestors, yo. I love y'all. The tree of good and evil. A river, verse 10. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headquarters. The name of the first is Pishon. Its winds through the entire land of Havilah. There is gold. There's plenty of gold there. The gold of the land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx are also there. The name of the second river is Gihon. Its winds through the entire land of Cush. The name of the third river is the Tigris, and it runs along the east side of Asher. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. I rest my case. No further questions, Your Honor. No further questions. I just showed you the secret of the universe on a Monday. Somebody put the date in the comments. Put the date in the comments so when they look back at this, they can know exactly when it was revealed in the lighthouse of where heaven is, of where the true Garden of Eden is. Write it down. I got chills too, Will. I got chills too. I didn't sleep all night. That's why you ain't heard from me the last 48 hours. Because when I got this, I had to resonate on it for a minute. And I said, are they going to allow me to do this? Are they going to allow me to say this? Huh? Are they going to kill me dead? Because this is out of control. Huh? But you know what? I love you. I love you. And that's why I'm going to give you this work. Welcome to the lighthouse. Welcome to the lighthouse. So now y'all got something to stand on. When they talk crazy about Adolf Hitler, you can say, yeah, he killed them people. Definitely did. But he figured it out. He figured it out. At the end of the day. They didn't want him to get that work. They didn't want him to get that work. So, with that being said, where do we go from here now that we know? Huh? How do we now deal with the flat earth theory? How do we deal with the infinite plane? I just showed it to you. I showed you the ancient maps. I showed you where the water's coming from, Africa of the Nile. If that ain't the source. Huh? We know where the source is. Huh? What are we going to do with that? I understand. See, Africa was one of the places where the rivers came from, right? The Pygmies was the first ones to hop off of that plane and come out. We was the first ones to inhabit, right? They made Africa the place where they settled, the Pygmies, okay? The Twa people. Africa was the first place where we settled. So you got to ask yourself, how the hell do these people circumnavigate the globe? Oh, now we have the answer. Now we have the answer. Because those 4 islands were actually the continents. Boom, 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 boom. We got Africa, we got California right there, we got India right. Now we understand how they circumnavigated the globe so easy. It makes sense. Oh, man. Is the earth flat? I don't know. I just know where we actually work is round. It's round. That I can say. We started at a center point. The continents were surrounding us from that rupus. From that rock. The Pygmies hopped out, went to Africa first. That's where they went. Some of them went out into Ireland. That's where they went. Now you see in the conflict because they're trying to figure out what happened when. You understand? Now you see why people are going back and forth. Right? It all started from there. It's getting crazy out here. It's getting crazy out here. But y'all gonna get this work. I promise you, y'all gonna get this work. And make sure y'all tune in on Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30 when we do Lighthouse TV. Our first episode of Lighthouse TV, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, simultaneously broadcasting. All right? Thank you for putting the date down there when this was revealed, when this truth was revealed. You only getting this on this channel. You know why? Because so many people are so connected to their knowledge and what they think they know that they don't do any further research. We killing all of that. True research, baby. So listen, if you haven't already, like, share, comment. My Facebook family, I love y'all, man. I love my ancestors. If you haven't already, like, share, comment. We got too many friends, so just click follow. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page. May the divine force in me meet the divine force in you. Ashe. Peace, family. Come on in. Come on in. We back. Switching servers on them. Oh, man. These dudes, man. I see you. Oh yeah, we back. Y'all see why we gotta do what we gotta do? Get back on frequency again. Y'all see why we gotta do it? Why we gotta take donations? Why we gotta get new equipment? Come on in. They can't stop us. We're gonna keep switching servers on them. As long as y'all get the information. What? Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. This is part 2. We're gonna end this thing off right. Yeah. Come on in. Come on in. What did he say? Can't stop, won't stop? We're not stopping. My time ain't done. Huh?
International traders, pirates and raiders, haters and fakers, killers and rapers, human enslavers, trafficking saviors. Don't believe me, do your research. 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 Do your research, do your research. Don't believe me, don't believe me, don't believe me, do your research. Don't believe me, do your research. Don't believe me, do your research. Off the boat without faith or hope. Turned around, upside down, back on the boat. Sold his dope, up down the river. Flood the Nile, the Mississippi is burning now. RBG, we Afro-Rican, Costa Rican, Puerto Rican, KMT, we Armorican, TIA, we G.O.D., Elohim, Prime Supreme, Thug Immortals, Moorish dreams, manifest our destiny. Roman law, a stolen legacy, English trust, a mental slavery. Don't believe me, do your research. Don't believe me, do your research. Don't believe me, do your research. Don't believe
me. Oh, come on in, family. Come on in, come on in. Come on in. It's that time. It's that time. Come on in, family. Put your nines up. Put your nines up. Let's go. Yep. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Hotep. Put your nines up. Let's get on frequency. For those who don't know, that's that boy Sigi Polo. That's his record. It's called Don't Believe Me. Doing a special promotion for that song today, for that album he sent me. Shout out to him. Conscious music. Conscious music. It's beautiful when we got brothers and sisters that's out there that's doing the work, giving us that music. I don't promote a lot of music on my show. Simply because it's not much out there that's actually worth promoting, and you know, it has to fall in line with the proper guidelines. And Sigi Polo is definitely on point. The album is called Panther Party. Pick it up. You can find it pretty much anywhere: iTunes, Google Play, Tidal, all the good spots. Spotify is out there. I'm going to be doing a nice promotion for that today as well. Shout out to him. He's the one that provided this T-shirt today. He's the sponsor for today. Hopefully he'll hop in the room if he's in the room already. and put the link up so we can grab that. It's a special promotion today on that, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Or you can put that in the feed. So let me shout out the first 9. Who's the first 9? Man, y'all was on quick this morning, man. I couldn't even bring up the feed before y'all was on here putting them 9s up. I appreciate the energy. Thank you. I want to shout out. This thing is, man, it's moving too fast, man. I can't even see who the first 9 are. It's going so fast. They done flipped it up. All right, well, put your 9s up. Let me know where you're from. I'm going to give you the first 9 that I can see because it's moving so fast that I can't even get the first 9. My apologies for that. But I see Chantel Jackson, Janae, Sonia Sunshine, Janae Elroy, D Nice. Man, y'all crashing the server. Nikki Hunter, I see you. I'm just going to shout out who I see. Cheryl Lee, I see Barbara Fitz. We're going all over the place today. Bonnie Barbazil, Kevion. Man, I'm gonna have to do something about that because I need to see my first 9, man. Y'all just y'all done blew up the chat. Oh man, y'all, I appreciate the love, yo. I appreciate the love. Toby EGS 369, Doris Whitlock, Nikki Hunter, Belle Lorraine, Juliana Benjamin, Latifah, Queen Latifah, I see you. Peace, Queen. Peace. Flower Bomb, I see you. Diana Williams, Child Akey, I see you. Yo, I appreciate everybody for coming in the room, man. Everybody that's been showing love. I mean, these past couple of days, this weekend has been the weekend of heaven for me. It's been the weekend of Nirvana and Imhotep bliss. I mean, so many blessings over this past weekend. I can't even tell you, but
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Don't believe me. Do your research. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Do your research. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It ain't consciousness. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It ain't consciousness. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It ain't consciousness. I can't stand it. Wake up to begin push-ups, sit-ups, and dips. Bring forth the G in your cheek. Spring forth the rock in your cock. Rise up the E in your spine. Ignite the third eye. Jumpstart the thought in your mind. You are the one. This your time. Reform the land and the sea. Reborn with gold and with green. Reshape the earth atmosphere. Remake a world we hold dear with no fear and no tears. Unless it's tears of joy we can fulfill. With no fights and no wars. Unless it's wars of blood and we can kill. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It ain't consciousness. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It ain't consciousness. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It ain't consciousness. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Wake up to begin. Push up.
come on in. Come on in. Ooh, I'm dripping over here. Let's go. Woo! Yes, sir. Come on in, come on in. Let's see what's going on here. Huh? Yeah. Let's get on frequency. Put your nines up. Shout out to Yolanda, I see you. First 9 in the building. Yes, sir. Shannon. Grand Rising, put your 9s and let me know where you're from. I see you, South Dallas. I see you, Texas. Bruce Williams. Grand Rising, King. Big Woo. Dre Lee. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Denise Darlington. I'm with you, Queen. Thank you for being here. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Dwayne Montauk. What's up, brother? Ashe. Stephanie Cook. How we feeling? How we feeling? And hi, it's Nikki. You made it. You made the cut, baby. Grand Rising, Queen. Grand Rising. It's that time. let's get on vibration. I hope you got your bracelets on. I know some of you received them over the past couple of days. Let's get in close here so y'all guys can see me. Make sure that people can see me now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's Sigi Tolo, Panther Party. That music in the background, can't stand it. Man, that boy spitting on there. He got some conscious music on there. I want to show him some support. Those of you who would like to get that EP, like to get that album, I believe you get a discount for utilizing the Lighthouse information as a code. Sigi, if you're in the room, you can go ahead and put that information down there. I'll also put it in the feed. We're going to be getting into some special things today, but before we do that, make sure you hit the thumbs up button.
The end, which becomes the beginning. So now I hope you understand the truth about the Son of God and thus the recycling of nature. There is no end, just an end to an age.
That being said, shout out to Sigi Tolo. Sigi Tolo. Sigi Tolo is responsible for the music that we did this morning. He's responsible for the record that you was hearing. He has an album out. It's called Panther Party. I want all y'all to go out, check that out. It's on iTunes. It's on Google Play. All the necessary sources to go and pick that up. Dope conscious album. And everybody that uses that, there's a promotion on my feed. Everybody that goes and buys it, there's a promotion on my feed where you can get it at 20% off, I believe, by putting the Lighthouse code in there. So I'm going to post this on the Facebook feed as well, where you can find that. Also, you can find Incense and Kama Sutra. That's my records. Incense Kama Sutra. You can find Miss Seeley's Note, and you can also find Frequency on iTunes. You can cop those singles if you like. We have Ashe coming out real soon. For those, I know many of you have been asking about Ashe and Litho. We'll be dropping Ashe and Litho as well, so you'll be able to cop those songs. Okay. Shout out to everybody that is copping their power bracelets. Power bracelets are $50. If you donate $50 to the Lighthouse PayPal, JAMAARMilton@gmail.com, or through Cash App, JAMAARMilton@gmail.com, you will get a Lighthouse power bracelet. There are two-tone copper and brass. These power bracelets are great for meditation, to get you on frequency, to get that non-ether swirl going. That's what we are using as our fundraiser, is these power bracelets, and everybody that's on one accord vibrating with us. I appreciate everybody that's been sending them in. I mean, we have so many orders, so many people that's been supporting the Lighthouse. I don't think y'all understand how deep y'all family is, man. I can't even post all the pictures that's on here of everybody that was sending in their photos of them rocking their Lighthouse power bracelets. We also have the Lighthouse t-shirts. The t-shirts we still have, they are $25. Everybody who donates $25 or more to our PayPal will receive the Lighthouse t-shirt. Okay. Let's see if I have one. I can show y'all the Lighthouse t-shirts. Got to do my shout outs this morning. We got to pay the bills, you know. Got to shout out everybody that support the movement. Our movement is so large now as far as black owned businesses. This is the Lighthouse t-shirt. It says duality on the front. It's got the 9s on the bottom. On the back, it says Lighthouse, do I. Shout out to Coach Lo Bonar. She's the one that does these t-shirts. And she's strictly doing it out the kindness of her heart, so that we can raise some money, so that we can get new laptops and things of that nature to run our infrastructure. Because as you know, they keep trying to stop our fees when we talk about real things and we expose them. You know, they stopped us like 4 times yesterday. So we're trying to raise up some money to get us a new laptop and some new infrastructure. We get in the studio as well, so that we could do some of our feeds in the studio. So I appreciate everybody that's been donating. Like I said, it's $25 or more for a t-shirt, $50 or more for the power bracelet. I also want to shout out Brother Anton Hicks. Brother Anton Hicks, he's the one that does these here. He's on Facebook. He does the unks, okay? Anton, if you're in there, if you're in the building, please put your website down there so they can know where to find your handmade, custom-made unks. He made my first unk for me. I didn't even have an unk, to be honest, before he gave me one. As far as jewelry was concerned, he was the first one to send this to me, and I thank him for making me an unk. Also, we have these t-shirts as well, the Heru t-shirts. They're also done by CG Tolo, and you can get these at 20% off as well by putting the Lighthouse code in there. You can find all that information on Facebook. He sent me several t-shirts, the Heru shirts. He's got other ones. He's got Kepara. He's got a lot of dope stuff, man. So we want to show him some love, show him some support. That's what we do here in the Lighthouse, man. We're all about black business and helping support everybody, because I'd rather y'all spend with each other than to reach your hand out and spend with somebody that's built an infrastructure to oppress you. So every time you put your hand out, hopefully you have your power bracelet on your hand as a reminder. Every time I go, if I swipe my card, I'm reminding myself, am I spending this with my people? You understand? Or am I contributing to the oppression of our people by empowering their government, empowering white supremacy? And where am I spending my money? Your money is where your heart is. You understand? Who are you spending your money with? You can join the Lighthouse group on Facebook. In the Lighthouse group, we spending money with one another. That's what we're doing in the Lighthouse group. If y'all want to know what's so private about this group, we spending money, and we're not letting just anybody. I gotta go over this. We're not just letting anybody into the Lighthouse group, because we understand that there are powers that be that are trying to stop us. There's a lot of information. There's infinite information that I give you guys for free that you can access via Facebook or YouTube. But if you want to get in that Lighthouse group, if you're trying to get in that group, you're going to first have to watch some videos to be able to answer 2 questions to get in the Lighthouse group, because we have to do that. We have to make sure that the people that we're letting into the group are people that are trying to build the group, right? And that are not people that are trying to just take. You understand? We have to let people in that are trying to build something with us. And we have built a beautiful network. Anybody will tell you that the people that are in the Lighthouse group, there's a lot of love in that group. Back and forth, nothing but love going back and forth, and people sharing with one another, trade and commerce, building one another up. A lot of the knowledge that you see are inspired by some of the discussions that we have in the Lighthouse group. So this is something that you want to be a part of. This is something that you don't want to miss. If you have a black-owned business and you're not in the Lighthouse group, you are hustling backwards. I promise you, you are hustling backwards. Everybody in that group understands, and they get it. They understand group economics and what it takes to build a community. And that's what we're doing in the Lighthouse group. So if you'd like to join that group, go ahead and look for it on Facebook. It's plain and simply the Lighthouse, just as it's spelled. And you have to answer those 2 questions. The answers to those 2 questions are in the videos that I provide. And you can simply just look for them on YouTube. They're all labeled. All the YouTube videos are labeled according to what I'm talking about. So you will find those answers in there. Okay, so I want to shout out a couple of people that we have on the feed. Shout out to my moderators, Lakeisha James, T. Cobbin, everybody that's always here on time. Kiwi, I see you. Peace, Queen. Ashe. Who else we got on here? Queen Latifah, always on deck, always holding it down, monitoring the group as well. I appreciate you, Queen. So we are looking for more moderators as well, because we don't want to overwhelm our moderators. We want to have as many moderators as possible that are qualified enough to regulate these feeds so that they don't keep shutting us down. That's what we got to do. We got to fight the moles. We got to cut these damn agents' heads off, man. That's what we about. So with that being said, may the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. Dua, 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 family. Peace. Ashe.